A good late afternoon and thanks for joining us. Sage here and you're watching Kalkine TV live from Sydney. This is the last show of the day, the last trade. Another action-packed week has just begun and there's no better way to wind down than with the latest market close commentary. So in today's show, we'll take a look at the overall ASX 200's performance of the day and explore the gainers and the losers. And this will be followed by shares that grabbed the limelight today, such as Aristocrat Leisure Limited, Santos Limited, GPT Group, and many more. Then I'll share the trending updates from the Asian and the global markets. And finally, in the last segment, we have a special report on cryptocurrencies. So let's get started. And a myriad of global factors seems to be affecting the market sentiments currently. Equity markets across Asia fell as data revealed by China's National Bureau of Statistics showed that China's rate of growth was slower than expected in the third quarter, as COVID-19 outbreaks suppressed activity and power shortages hit the factory sector. The world's second largest economy saw gross domestic product increase 4.9% year on year, weakening from 7.9% in the June quarter. Economists had forecast a 5% expansion. And another triggering factor is oil. Oil advanced in Asian trading after an eighth weekly gain, with the market confronting a global energy crunch ahead of winter. A shortage of natural gas and coal from Asia to Europe is driving further demand for oil products in power generation. That's coincided with key economies recovering from the pandemic, leading to a significant tightening of the market. And in the US, retail sales have come in pretty strong. Sales at stores, restaurants and other retail establishments rose 0.7% from August, instead of falling. However, worries about stubbornly high inflation reduce support for markets from the Federal Reserve, and a slowing economy remains. On this note, let's jump back to how the local bourse opened the week today. It's been a start in the green zone as Australian shares rallied today, and the ASX 200 closed up 0.26% today. Over the last 5 days, the index has gained 1.11% and is currently 3.3% off of its 52-week high. On the sectoral front, 4 sectors were higher and 7 ended lower. Materials was the best performing sector, gaining 0.83% and 2.62% for the past 5 days. Now let's skim through the top gainers and losers of the day. Material companies ruled the gainers list today. The top performer on the ASX pack was Nickel Mines, after signing a binding agreement to supply limonite ore to IMIP HPAL project. And Nickel Mines was up 5.5%. Orocobre traded up by 4.5% and Lynas Rare Earths rallied close, its stock up 4.4%. Other top performers were IGO and Oz Minerals. And on the flip side, Kogan.com was the biggest laggard. Its stock down nearly 5% today. Domino's Pizza Enterprises closed down 3.9% and EML Payments followed suit. Other laggards in the ASX red zone today were Evolution Mining and Redbubble. Let's now shift our focus to the stocks that fetched the investors' attention today. Aristocrat Leisure has announced the proposed acquisition of 100% of Playtech for a cash offer price of 680 pence per share. The offer values Playtech's entire issued and to be issued share capital at approximately 3.9 billion Australian dollars on a fully diluted basis. This is the biggest acquisition in Aristocrat's history. It represents a valuation multiple of 11.4 times Playtech's adjusted EBITDA for the 12 months ended 30th June 2021. The acquisition will be conservatively funded by a combination of existing cash, a new term loan B issue and an equity raising. Shares of Sydney Airport is next, plummeting by nearly 2% after a consortium proposal update. And reportedly, the IFM-led consortium bidding for Sydney Airport has completed its 4-week due diligence period, but an agreement between the two parties remains vague. The board continues to negotiate the relevant transaction documents with a view to the parties seeking their respective internal approvals over the coming weeks. Energy company Santos's shares traded in the green after the company won the right to start Narrabri coal seam gas project. The $3.6 billion Australian dollar coal seam gas project has the potential to supply enough natural gas to meet up to half of New South Wales' natural gas demand. And now let's take a small break, but stay tuned with me as I'll be back with more trending market updates.
Tune in to get the latest information.
Whether it's about market movements or the currency graph,
Sectoral coverage or industry news.
we cover it all on our news segments.
Be on top of the latest news
With Kalkine TV.
Hello, welcome back. Sage here with the Market Close commentary for Kalkine TV. And let us look at some more of those stocks that grabbed the investors' attention today. Tasmanian whisky maker Larka Distilling has stepped up an export program from 2023 after an $40 million Australian dollar buyout of another Tasmanian distiller, Pontville Distillery and Estate. And Pontville will be Lark's third working distillery in Tasmania, alongside its Cambridge and Bothwell sites. The company also announced a $53 million Australian dollar capital raising. And shares of financial services company Hub24 dropped today after the investment platform said that it is buying Superannuation Administration business class in an all-scrip deal worth $386 million Australian dollars. And interestingly, Class shares surged 61% on the back of the news. ASX-listed companies did seem to be on a buying spree today. Diversified property group GPT Group has finalised the purchase of the $4.1 billion Australian dollar logistics portfolio from Perth-based Ascot Capital. The deal comprises 23 logistics assets and one office for $681.7 million, with settlement expected in November. And shares traded up by nearly 1% today. Moving on to the next, HomeCo Daily Needs REIT is proposing to merge with Aventus Group. The enterprise value of the merged group will be $4.3 billion Australian dollars, with an estimated market cap of $3.2 billion Australian dollars. And now the deal seems to represent a unique and compelling opportunity to create significant value for both groups' investors. Aventus shares rose by over 4%, while HDN was down over 8% today. MoneyMe shares were up over 7% today after the 8-year-old lending business company notified that it has reached the $1 billion Australian dollar of originations watermark during the July to September quarter, with revenue of $23 million Australian dollars. And now that we know what the stance is back home, let us move on to the next segment and understand the Asian and global market performance. And the Asian stock markets traded mixed today. Positive cues from Wall Street on Friday, solid US earnings news and continued support from the crude oil prices seem to be the propelling factor behind this trend. And the Japanese stock market was modestly lower in variable trading, giving up some of the gains in the last couple of sessions, with the Nikkei 225 just under the 29,000 level. Traders seem cautious ahead of the looming general elections. New Zealand, Hong Kong, Singapore, South Korea and China were lower by between 0.1 and 0.7% each. Indonesia, Taiwan and Malaysia are higher by between 0.1 and 0.5% each. And beyond Asia, on Wall Street, stocks moved mostly higher during the trading on Friday, continuing the upward trend from Thursday. The Dow and the S&P 500 reached new one-month closing highs, and the Dow shot up 382.20 points. The Nasdaq rose 73.91 points, while the S&P 500 climbed 33.11 points. And we've reached the last segment of the show. Let's now take a quick look over the buzzing crypto markets performance. Bitcoin's price topped the $60,000 level during the weekend for the first time since April. And on that news, the Securities and Exchange Commission might approve a Bitcoin futures exchange traded fund soon. The world's largest cryptocurrency by market capitalisation, Bitcoin has been on a tremendous bull run since more than a week, and it has broken out of that channel pattern, and experts expect the momentum to continue into the week ahead. So much so, the next resistance is expected at $63,000 US. Ether, the coin linked to Ethereum's blockchain and the second largest cryptocurrency, surged to US $3,885. Cardano and Dogecoin's prices gained marginally. And on the other hand, other digital tokens like Solana, Shiba Inu, Binance Coin also gained over the last 24 hours. And hopefully that was informative for you, but that's a wrap, folks. And we'll be back on tomorrow live from Sydney at 9:30 in the morning with our first report on the pre-market scenario to prepare you for the trading day. So take care, stay safe till then. This is Sage signing off.